Gotta kick off the show here.
We're agreeing.
So cleaned up. Oh, there we go. You gotta unmute yourself, guys. Hey, welcome to the Mafia Cast. We are live. It's the beauty of going live. That is definitely gonna make the bloopers reel, right?
Yep, absolutely.
I was just going to see how long
What's
you're going to
going
keep
on,
talking.
guys? Well, it popped up on the screen. It says you're muted. It's like, oh crap.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's like it's like the system can hear you talking, but it's like I'm not recording you. Just
I'm not
anyways,
helping
what's going
out.
on, fellas? How are y'all?
What's up, man?
It's a lot more fun to do
You know-
the show after winning, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
A lot more fun.
A lot more fun, especially when it's over the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And we're
Yes, sir.
obviously going to talk about that. I'm trying to, message tough and talk and yeah. So first of all, once again, welcome into the show, everybody. We appreciate you. We love you guys for joining us. We look forward to this every single week. Like Casey said, sometimes after the loss, like I'll be honest with you guys, on Sundays or Mondays after a loss, the first thought I have is like, oh, I don't want to do a show this week.
I know.
But we got to win, so I've been looking forward to this, doing the show this week. In fact, I got a text from one of my girls saying that she was really excited to hear what I have to say on the show. And then another one of my daughters last night said the exact same thing. So there's people out there that want to hear what I say. I know they're my kids, but they want to hear what Dad has to say today.
But real quick, is this not the first time that they actually want to hear what you have to say? Want to hear what your opinion is now? Isn't it funny that for all the years growing up, they're always like, "Dad, I don't care," and now they're like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to listen to you."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Well, I would say for the first part of your children's lives, up till 10, 11-ish, Dad is the world. Like, he is God. He knows everything about everything. I want to be around him, hang out. And then they get to the teens and they're like, Dad is dumb. He's stupid. I don't know what he's talking about. I know everything because I'm a teenager and I've lived for 13 years. And then they get to the 20s and then go back to like, oh, yeah, Dad's actually a pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we were
Anywho.
never taught how to do taxes.
H&R will do that for you. That was not a plug for H&R, but they will do it for you. Anyways, yeah, as you can see on the screen, smash the like and subscribe button if you're listening on YouTube. Hit that. If you're on Facebook, same thing. Join our family over on the Facebook, the Mafia Cast page. We're close to 200 subscribers on that page, guys.
It's awesome.
Hey, slow and steady wins the race.
That's what I hear, and it is sometimes very slow, but we're getting there. Let's jump back into the last weekend's game really quick. I'm just gonna throw it out there for you guys. Case, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it was weird. Like, first, there was some reason I was texting my friend Mike, and not this one, and he
Your
texted
actual
me before
friend,
the
Mike.
game. Yeah, my actual friend Mike.
I have friends.
And he said, I don't know what's going on. He like why I think this. He goes, but I have full confidence that we're going to win this football game. And I did too. There was just something that I was like, the entire game, as like close as it got, as chippy as it got, I just never felt like we were actually going to lose a game once it started. I felt like we were always in control. I know Kansas City, they made it tight. They really came back. They made a really good football game. But I felt like we were in control the whole time, and Kansas City was chasing us more so than we were chasing them. It had been a really long time since I'd had that feeling. We had been the chaser for a long time, not the ones being chased.
What up, Dave? It's my stepbrother. Nice to see him
Yeah,
watching.
there you go. I love
too, man.
this is one of my favorite parts of doing this show. And we'll get back to the game in a second, but it's the comments, the interaction with the fans, family. It's my favorite part. It's a ton of fun. Yeah, I honestly don't know what I was feeling when we had the ball, and I was like, okay, we're going to get some points out of this. When we were on the Bills' last drive, the offensive drive, and I wasn't sure if they were, going to get 3, if they're going to get 6, whatever the situation was. But the only thing I could think of in that moment was, damn, there's way too much time on this clock still. And we've seen this story play out multiple times this season where Josh Allen drives us down the field, whether it's for 6 or for 3. He walks off of the field with the lead and then ends up in the locker room with a loss. So, that's kind of where my mind was on the end of that game. Throughout the game, I wasn't worried, but I wasn't, oh, we got this in the bag either. It's kind of an odd feeling.
Yeah.
Mike, what do you got? How are you feeling throughout the game?
I want to say I was nervous. I was having that feeling, and I'm like, I hope everyone's not having this feeling, and it's just me. And I mean, I doubt it was just me, but I think it was a very small portion. Not very small, but I think more people were confident that we were going to go in there and pull out the dub. The beginning of the game, like Casey was saying, they didn't make it easy. They made it tight. When Epinesa got that interception, that was it for me. I'm like, we came here to play, and we mean business. And from there on out, yeah, we controlled it the whole way.
I missed that play.
Oh, you did.
You did
That's
too.
right.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
You're not
gosh,
local.
I forgot
We're
about
FaceTiming
that.
next time.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't remember what game it was now, but whichever game our local network was showing, it wasn't over yet when the Bills game had started. So, and I've got a house full. We had probably 15 to 20 people, Bills and Chiefs fans, in this house. It was like a Super Bowl atmosphere around here. It was it was cool. It was a lot of fun. But everybody's like, "Where's the game, Ronnie?" Like,
oh. I mean, I texted you guys 5 minutes before even kickoff, and I was like, I don't think they're going to show live. I was like, I don't think they're going to. And then all of a sudden, thank God. This is why you got to live in New York, Ronnie. This is why you need to move out here so you can actually watch the games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'd be at the games if that was the case.
That's a good point. But to go back to your point, Ronnie, about like we left too much time on the clock at the end of the game. That's the part where I was like, Kansas City messed up this time. Because when Travis Kelce made that on that last play when Kelce lateraled it and Tony scored, there was over a minute left, and we had all 3 timeouts. That I immediately thought as soon as they scored, before I even saw the flag, I was like, "This is it's Josh's turn. He finally gets a chance to get the ball last." You know that, and I knew like he was going to go down and score. We saw the magical plays he was making this game. Like I was very comfortable. It felt a lot of like 13 seconds to me to where Josh is going to do what Josh wants to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because I had the same thoughts. But if you look at a lot of the comments from people who basically like, if it wasn't for Tony, we would have lost the game. Well, no, there was over a minute, and Josh Allen's coming onto the field if that's the case. And then some people will say, well, that's great, but did you see our offense up to that point? And we scored 6 points in the second half or whatever it was. No, 3 points in the second half. Yes, but every single game, almost this year, when we're behind, Allen has drove us down the field and put us ahead. It's the defense that has done not their part.
Mm-hmm.
So in this particular instance, yeah, you're right. We would have had the ball, and he would have had that opportunity to drive down the field and win it with no time left on the clock. Yeah, it was a crazy game, and I even remember when I think there was like 55 seconds, 54 seconds. We stopped them in that 4th down. You know, the Bills fans in my house are cheering and having. I was like, no. There's still 54 seconds left in this game. The way this season's gone, we're going to find a way to F this up.
Yeah.
Remember the Vikings game? We fumbled the snap. We got 54 seconds left or whatever the time was. And then they were kneeling it down and the clock ran. So that was awesome to see. But we're 3-0 against the Chiefs in the regular season in their stadium. So even going into the game, I wasn't necessarily like concerned. I wasn't really sure what to think, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wonder how concerned Chiefs fans are going to be next year if we end up having to, more likely than not, have to go back there again. You know, I wonder what their mindset's going to be to where, like, oh my God, you know, here comes Josh Allen and the Bills. They always come to Arrowhead and they always beat us. You know, it's like each team has that one random team against them that it was always their crutch. Like during when Brady was in New England, it was the Dolphins. He couldn't beat Miami in Miami. You know, it was one of those things. And like it was like the Jets somehow always beat the Patriots once. You know, right now the Jets are beating the Bills once a year. You know, the Patriots are beating the Bills once a year. At least the last two. You know, it's just kind of one of those things to where is that just we're there. Like Josh Allen is truly their crutch.
Yeah. See, Roy brings up exactly what I was just saying, considering they only scored 6 points in the second half. I'm pretty sure it was 3 because we were up 17-7 at halftime, right? I'm pretty sure that was the score. But anyways, regardless, yeah, same thing. He didn't have the confidence of Buffalo go down and get the touchdown with a minute left. And I
don't blame him.
Yeah, I understand that, but I was confident because every time that we've needed that score, Allen has delivered this year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the defense, like I said, couldn't hold up their end of the bargain here. Gary says Allen Head Stadium. I like it. I like it. Yeah, so I don't really want to go too much into the game, because Buffalo Rumblings podcast. If you're listening to our show, you got to check out all the rest of them too. There's a whole lineup of Buffalo Rumblings podcasts, and they've been talking this game up, breaking it down, talking about the Kadarius Toney play, talking about everything. I'm just going to say this. I get the fact that, okay, the refs maybe didn't warn him throughout the game or whatever, but my goodness, how many times, like there was the hold on Kincaid that we didn't get that call. There was a questionable call on Diggs in the end zone that we didn't get. Like, it's just, to me, this is a theme throughout the league this year, and it goes both ways. It's not just this one particular play, and that was actually the right call this time. But yeah, it's been funny watching all the memes this week, though. I do enjoy those.
It's good to be on the good side of it.
It is,
isn't it though? Oh my God! It feels like it's been a year and a half since we've been on the good side of a game, of a legendary game.
Ruthless this year.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Let me ask you.
It's not like they've beaten anybody.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this. I was listening to Line to Gain on my way home from work today. That's the one with Sarah and Big O, Jerry Ostrowski. She was saying that she would kind of like to see maybe the league change that up to where if it's a pre-snap penalty, don't let the play continue on. Like, just stop the way they do with an offsides call, or not offsides, but false start. And I have my opinion, but I want to hear you guys, first of all, what you think on that. Do you think that they, on play a penalty like that, just throw the flag, blow the whistle, it's dead, start over? What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, the issue is the player has until the snap to realize that he is, in the penalty area. So, if at the last second, he's moving backwards, I mean, he's getting off, he is like backing up off the line, then like you're calling the flag. I mean, you're throwing the flag at the snap when now he is fine. It's one of those things. Like I think you got to leave it as is, because you got to give him every opportunity to move back.
Let me throw this out there, Mike, before you go. If that's being, and yeah, I agree, snap the ball, then you throw the flag. But if the receiver gets up there and he is set and he never makes that look over at the ref, and ref's like, hey, you need to move back, he doesn't do that. And right before the snap, Tony realizes, oh crap, I'm offsides. He moves. That's a false start, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, you saw even in that play, he checked with the ref.
Did he though?
Well,
Like, look at the video. It was like
that's the whole thing.
like,
That's
It
the
wasn't a very
question.
valid attempt. He was
But most receivers, I mean, and when you watch them, and even corners, they're checked. Like it's usually just half the time they just point. They just point their arm like that. They're not even looking at the ref. It's just something that they have to do. It's true. I mean, I've seen Diggs do it. Like I've seen him literally looking at this way at Josh and then stick his arm out but that's when he knows. I'm 3 yards off the line of scrimmage, 2 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
But Tony plays in the slot, which is more close, which is always closer to the line of scrimmage compared to the outside receiver. So it's one of those things where he did and didn't. He did everything right and didn't do everything right.
Right.
Yeah. Well, to me, if he's standing there looking down the line, does he need glasses, contacts, or what? Like, how do you not see that you're?
That's where the conversation leads. Is to where that I've been seeing since the game is this isn't the first time that not that Tony has had that exact penalty, but is like done something where it's cost the Chiefs. Whether it's taking the points out the board or ended a drive because of a penalty. Like he got a penalty and then all of a sudden it ends the drive. How soon do you got to be like, can we trust him being on the field, being in the right spot and not costing us?
Right. So what stood out to me, what I thought was kind of crazy is that the balls, they obviously marked the ball on the hash marks, and where he was standing was like right next to the other hash mark. It's like, if you're looking at the ball, I don't see how you make that mistake other than the fact that they were in the logo. I don't know if that, a bunch of lines on the field where you're standing.
Maybe he couldn't see the ball or something, or
right.
Yeah,
that could do it.
But I think that. I don't care either way how they throw the flag or not. If they do, like you said, we had a minute, so I wasn't heartbroken. I didn't see the flag when the ball got snapped. I thought they had a touchdown, and I was confident we were going to go do our thing after that. But my take on it is, it's sort of like the ref's preference. I mean, he can do what he wants. If it's against the rules, he can throw a flag on it. So the only way to avoid it. And at this stage in the game, the rules. Don't do it. Don't give the ref an excuse to throw a flag, and he won't. So.
Well, again, I mean, it comes down to the old adage: you shouldn't let a game come down to be determined by one play. It's you can just read that to every Chiefs fan. But Nick here makes a good point. If that play wasn't successful, this wouldn't even be a talking point.
Right.
Think about it that way. If that was just if it was an incomplete pass, a pass that got batted down, nobody would be saying a word about this.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like nobody said a word about the penalty.
That series.
AJ Brown's catch and fumble that was ruled an incomplete pass.
Exactly.
And throwing our own team under the bus on that. I'm sorry that oh my gosh.
Yes, it was.
Catch was not a catch.
Yes, it was. Yeah. If Travis Kelce's catch earlier in the game was a catch, and AJ Brown, you have to count that as a catch.
Right.
That's my point.
I think we understand. But I think that is the consistency. Is you have to you have to have the ball, and all you got to do is take 3 steps, and that counts it as a catch. AJ Brown only took 2, and his was the only one that counted as a incompletion.
He had more control over it than either one of those other two.
Yep.
And that same, I think it was that following Monday night game. I can't remember exactly. Or don't remember the teams, but I think it was a tight end caught in the back of the end zone, both knees, elbow down.
Yeah.
Ball comes out in the back of and then they called that an incomplete. And that's the other thing that drives me crazy. If a running back, let's say Josh Allen, QB sneaks it, whatever, reaches his hand over the line, and that's a touchdown. Somebody knocks it out, but it's still a touchdown because he broke the plane. How is that not the same with the receiver when he catches it, has possession? He's already broke the plane. How is that not a touchdown? Why do they have to control it through the fall?
Well, I like it.
Because someone made a big deal about it one day.
Well, no, because I mean, because it turns into what if there's a defender right there, and the defender is still, if the defender makes a play on the ball, and is it still in the process of ripping that ball out, and by the time that receiver catches the ball, like catches it, gets 2 feet down, and is now falling backwards or sideways, whatever. But the corner or safety, whatever, has their hand still on that football and is still able to pull it out. I think that should be ruled an incompletion. I think you should come up with the football in order for it to be a catch.
Yeah.
I mean, if you catch the ball and you get both feet down, that's a touchdown. It doesn't matter to me. Like, it's no different than if a running back's plowing towards the goal line and somebody has their arm and they're trying to rip it out. It breaks the plane.
Right.
If you didn't get it out before that happened, then it's a touchdown.
But that's where
Same should apply to the receivers.
But that's where being a pass comes in. I mean, when do you determine had full possession? You know, if the defender is right there making a play while the receiver's catching it. I mean, there's always going to be the receiver catching the ball and trying to tuck it somewhere. So the ball's always going to be moving. So, like, it's hard to determine exactly when they have a full possession of the football.
If he, I don't agree. To me, if he's got his hands on it and the ball's not moving and he's, whatever, it's not any different than a running back with one hand reaching out. He doesn't have, he's moving the ball. He doesn't really have a whole lot of control over it because he's got one hand on it. He breaks that line. It's a touchdown. Doesn't matter what happens afterwards.
Right. You're saying you're standing in the end zone. You got your hands. Boom. The ball sticks to your hands. It doesn't move at all. But as soon as it touches your hands, boom, you're saying touchdown.
If your feet get down, you got to get your feet down.
Right.
I will give him that because if you're up in the air in the end zone, then you got to be on the ground.
But that takes.
But where do you draw the line, though?
They
call it a touchdown here, and when he's going to do that, like he's just going to.
That's my point right there.
Someone's going to be like, "Wait, did he really catch it?"
Exactly. It's Dez Bryant, is what it is. It is. I mean, that's the Dez Bryant catch. I mean, ever since then, we've seen that over and over again, and it's been called both ways: a catch and a drop. And it's like, what freaking one is it? Ooh, BR. Sorry, I almost lost one there.
No, you're good.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's kind of the point. Is there's just no consistency. You call one thing one way and then not the other, and I don't know if there's really an answer to that problem, short of using the technology that's out there and start having AI call games instead of humans. I don't know.
More of a.
Can I just?
I like how like the Chiefs game seemed like we each got away with some calls and we each got flagged for some stuff. I think it was a well officiated game. It was balanced. So as long as it's balanced,
I thought
that's sad when
it's true.
When you say a well called game is a game that both teams get screwed.
Yeah,
but you're right. As long as
I would rather have. Yeah, I mean,
even the Eagles game. I wasn't complaining about the refs. I thought it was a decent game. We lost it.
Well, Mike's nuts, but anyway,
I'm gonna agree. And that's kind of we'll get into some McDermott conversation here in a minute, because but there are some comments here that I want to get back to. One of which here, starting with Sheldon Cole, and this is almost in perfect timing here. Any idea if Lenny Fournette is going to get some touches? This is the question that I want to ask the two of you at this point in the season. From what you've seen so far from Latavius Murray, I know you guys have a soft spot in your heart for Murray because he's kind of a local boy for y'all. Should Fournette come into this? Is it time for Fournette to come in and maybe Murray to kind of relinquish some of these touches to Fournette? We know if Fournette can catch. He had over 70 receptions last year. He had, I think, 900-something yards rushing behind a crappy offensive line. Is it time to bring him in here and give him a shot?
If it isn't broke, don't fix it. And that is being.
I would argue that it's broke.
Unbiased. How?
Number one, that was not a catch. Number two, even if you do want to call that a catch, he subsequently fumbles it. That's a touchdown if he holds on to it. Okay. Number two, there was a couple of plays when he was in protection that he completely missed the guy, went the wrong direction, and gave up one of them. He gave up a sack because of it. I don't remember the others, but I just feel like that he's the oldest player in the league. To me, it's starting to show. Like the burst that we saw early in the season, to me, is not there anymore. Yeah, he's still somewhat effective between the tackles, but Fournette is like what, 5 years younger? Like, to me, he needs to be on the field. Let's see what he can do. Kind of give more of that traditional lightning and thunder situation between Cook and Fournette. I want to see Fournette on the field and see what he's got.
Yeah. And I feel like he's just a backup plan right now. We're just keeping that in our pocket in case Murray gets banged up or he does start having, drop issues, things like that.
You're saying
Fumbling.
Fournette's the backup issue or question or
Yeah, backup plan.
plan?
We snagged him just in case we're down another running back, like we lost one earlier this season.
I don't think Leonard Fournette actually has anything to do with Latavius Murray and like his situation. I think it was because all of a sudden we saw, I mean, how many games did we go with 2 active running backs after Damian Harris got hurt? We won a few. And then all of a sudden, Tyson Chandler got called up and it was like
Ty Johnson.
Ty Johnson, excuse me. And he didn't get, maybe he got 1-2 touches or he was in protection. He was just spelling the guys. All of a sudden, like he looks good. No, he looks very good. He does well with his touches. He's very good in the screen game. I think it was more so if he just doesn't work out, we know we have somebody in that like who can do those things in Leonard Fournette. But let's see what Johnson's got, and he's done really well. And I just don't think that there's any need to change it up right now. I don't think the issues are big enough, like with Latavius. I mean, he had one drop. You can call this his worst game of the year. I'll take that. I mean, especially with how well he ran when given the opportunity. I just think it's one of those, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. And personally, in my opinion, I just don't think it's broke.
It's fair. Maybe he comes in and plays the Johnson. I just want to see.
Right,
let's see if he can. Yeah, if he's got something to provide.
But is now the time in the season to?
He's nicknamed Playoff Lenny for a reason.
Yeah.
What's that?
But now isn't right now the time to be playing those games? Let's see if this works.
Exactly.
Or we just keep rolling with what we got, or are we trying to keep them guessing? And maybe we start Fournette this week and we just hammer the run.
Oh, Mike, that COVID's really getting to you, buddy.
It is, ain't it? I don't think that's the case. I honestly do think he is just a backup plan right now.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, there's a reason why he's nicknamed Playoff Lenny, and right now it's basically playoff time for the Bills. This weekend isn't necessarily must win, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit later as well. But I do want to move on because we're already moving up here close on the halfway point of the show.
Real quick. Don't you ever try to get me to talk bad about Latavius Murray again. All right, move on.
Moving on.
Wait.
I'm going to throw this in here really quick.
All right. Yeah, this is something I wanted to do. The NFL's, they do their monthly campaigns throughout the year with the veterans and the different charities and this and that. So this month, obviously, My Cause, My Cleats. And this is one of my favorite ones because, I'm the artsy kind of guy. I'm into that whole thing. It's like a bucket list thing for me. I want to paint a pair of cleats for somebody or something someday. But I thought we'd just sort of highlight one of the causes that the Bills players have. All different, like countless players, all custom cleats this month, and they all benefit or supporting different charities. So the one that that kind of struck a chord with me was Micah Hyde's here. So Micah Hyde, his cause is the CARES Foundation, which is close to his family. I'm not 100% sure what that one's all about, but the other part of it, the other charity is Imagine for Youth. So Imagine for Youth is I got to pull it up here because I didn't rehearse this. It's just getting youth involved in sports and academics and giving them giving support. Micah Hyde started this as a class project, I think, in 2015, and it just blossomed into this. Him and his wife run it now, and it's just a really good thing. It's across a few different states, and like I said, it's just getting kids involved with sports. I mean, I see kids here. You go to the Bills app, you scroll down like halfway, you'll see Bills Mafia, and then you just slide over a couple slides, and then you'll see the My Cause, My Cleats, and it'll list a bunch of players that are working with these charities, and you could donate right there. On the bottom, there's a button. So it's one that really kind of resonates with me because, as a child, maybe, I wasn't the most athletic or the best at schoolwork and doing homework and things like that. So, it might have helped me go a little further. So I don't know. And I just love the cleats thing. I think it's the coolest thing, the artwork and all that. So if you can, get on the Bills app, go check out the causes, support them. They highlight them on the pre-games. You see these guys wearing their cleats and stuff like that. So that's all I want to do is just kind of give them a shout out what these players are doing. It's a great thing, doing great things on and
it's
off
awesome.
the field. So go ahead, show your support if you can, and I'm sure they really appreciate that. It's awesome what they're doing, and it's a great thing. This one in particular for youth, for academic and sports. So there you have it.
Mike, knowing you back then, you could have used all the help you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Latavius
the
didn't kick in the teeth for nothing.
It's a pretty cool deal that the NFL does and the players. And I'll just quickly kind of piggyback off of that. There's a ton of things that the league does, that the players do, the teams do, that just does not get the recognition and publicity that it should. Instead, we're worried about something that Sean McDermott said 4 years ago rather than focusing on the here and now and some of the issues. Yes, I threw that little comment in there. So we're going to jump into this. McDermott's undefeated following a bye. What is it, 7-0?
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's either 7-0 or 8-0. I can't remember if he was 7-0 going in. Now he's 8-0 coming out, whatever. The fact remains he's undefeated. And we kind of talked a little bit about this whole Sean McDermott situation last week. Not so much of the Tyler Dunn report or article, whatever you want to call it, piece of crap story. I don't like it. Like I get it. You're a journalist. You think you have some sort of a job to do. You guys know me. I am not about the negativity. I'm not about attacking people in any way. And to me, it's just, pardon my French, but shitty journalism. Especially the timing. It just doesn't make any sense. And it was nothing.
The timing is the worst part of the entire thing.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It was nothing more than a hit piece as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's what makes it so intense. That's what makes you know how intentional it was and what he was trying to do with it.
Yeah.
7-0.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess he wrote a follow-up article that released today that was – I haven't read it. So if you want to know what Sarah and Jerry have to say about it, check out the Line to Game from this week because they really kind of dive into it in a lot of the comments and stuff. But it's just doubling down apparently on some of the things that he was saying, kind of attacking even the fans, saying that you guys didn't actually read it. I guess he made some comments about Chris Brown and Steve Tasker and Eric Wood for some of their, I get probably comments in retaliation, or maybe not necessarily in retaliation, but just in support. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't read the article and I don't know what comments they were saying, but I personally am so over the McDermott trash talking. Listen, he's not going anywhere. Let it go. Support this team. We are trying to do something here. So let's move on from that. Move on from the name calling. Support this team and just stop. It's causing a distraction. And if you want your team, the Bills, to go on this run that we're all hoping that they're doing, limit the distractions. And this is one of those. And as fans, we can help with that. So stop. Go ahead. I know you got something to say, Casey.
No, I was just going to say McDermott's going to be here one more year.
At least.
I think if they don't, make the AFC Championship game this year or next, I think there very well could be a change.
But not anytime soon. So deal with it.
It would be after next year. Yeah, which is exactly why Mike and I know I can speak for you on this. We're on Ronnie's side to where he's not going to go anywhere. So what is the point? There's 0 point in doing and saying any of this.
Mhm.
Just like Ronnie said, ride for your guys, do what you can,
Yeah.
support any way you can, whether it's my calls, my cleats, or just going to a game. We're fans of this team for a reason. Be a fan.
Support.
Yeah.
Stop hate.
There you go. Stop hating. Let's jump into what do you guys think? You want to do the AFC roundup or do you want to talk of the game?
Let's
Before we
do
do
a
that-
AFC roundup quick.
Before we do that,
Okay.
in case
ahead.
anyone wasn't on, if you're just tuning in, just want to say you're watching the Mafia Cast. You can find us anywhere: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, anywhere on the Buffalo Rumblings Network, anywhere you find your podcast. So give us a search anywhere you want, whatever you prefer. You can find us there. So just want to throw that out there. Someone's just tuning in.
Yeah. And jump over to the Mafia Cast Facebook page. Give us a follow.
Mhm.
We want to hit 200. We're at 190 right now.
Like,
It'd
subscribe,
be great
all
if I
that.
woke up in
Really-
the morning and it's at 200. Yeah.
we
right.
really appreciate each and every one of you. So thanks a bunch. Keep supporting.
So, yeah, the AFC roundup, we'll kind of tie in the playoff talk with this, okay? And before I go into that, I want to hear from you guys, and we'll start with Mike on this time. Where do you put the Bills as far as the playoff chase right now? Do they have to win this game this weekend? Is it a must-win against Dallas, or no? What do you think?
Yes. Yes, it is.
That's it. Just yes.
It is.
Sometimes
It is.
Mike has got like a whole bunch of words, so he just wants to keep on going, and then other times it's yes.
Well, it's because I got so many words, I can't think of which ones to say first, so I just pick one of them. But from like a player's standpoint, like Dawkins was on one of the shows today, FS1, I think, maybe on I forget what show it was, but they're focused on this game and this game only. Like he was saying, he's not even sure what the next game is or the next game. They're focused on this game. Their backs are to the wall. This is it. We mentioned it earlier. It's almost like playoff time for the Bills right now. I mean, this is it. The Cowboys are a great team right now. They're playing really well. They're in a very good position. Dak is in the MVP chat right now. So I mean, they're right at the top of their game right now. This is a huge game for the Bills, and it's the game of the week, and we're going to be there. So yes, they do need to win this.
That's fair.
But yes,
I forgot.
too
Yeah,
much.
you're gonna be there.
Yeah, too much of the 7-6 going on. We got to break away from that lump of teams we're lumped with right here. And the time is now.
We got Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, Houston, Denver, Cincinnati, all sitting at 7-6.
Mhm.
Casey, what do you think?
I mean, it's Pop Ron. I've been the one that's been going back at you. Like you and I have been going back and forth about this. You're not worried about the tiebreaker situation like I am. As everybody can see here, there's not a single tiebreaker that Buffalo owns.
Right.
And like that's but you can't rely on other teams to lose at this point in the season, especially when you don't own the tiebreakers. So at this point, every single game, like you have said, is a playoff game at this point. Because if we lose, I know it's an NFC team, but the playoff chances drop significantly, especially if, one of these other 7-6 teams that are playing with a backup quarterback pulls out a magnificent win that they weren't expected to get. I mean, who projected Browning in the Bengals to win last week? Nobody. Who expected them to beat all these teams with the backup quarterbacks. They're playing well. They're playing good enough, especially Cleveland. Cleveland started 3-4 quarterbacks this year, and I think the highest paid one might be the worst one they've played. But they're sitting at 8-5, but that's because they have a fantastic defense. They know they can run the ball. I just don't trust any of these teams to slip up and just kind of not hand it to us, but make it easier for us. So in my opinion, it's we can control our own destiny. So we have to win every game. And then I know like we're going straight into the playoffs, and we're not gonna like there's zero chance for a bye, but like all we
There's
need
not
is a
zero
chance.
chance, but
I mean, all we need is a chance to get into the playoffs, and I think if we get into the playoffs, we will be the team to beat in the AFC. Jacksonville doesn't
Yeah.
scare me. Kansas City doesn't scare me. Miami doesn't scare me, and Baltimore doesn't scare me. Every single one of those teams has their own has a crutch against them, and I know we do too. You know, I understand that, but we are just as good, if not better, than every single team ahead of us. We have still yet to hit our
Absolutely.
stride, and maybe this is the game, and maybe last game was the one that like kicks it into high gear for us.
yeah, I'm on board with that. I will say, my opinion of the tiebreakers, it's not a hoping that the teams in front of us lose or help us out. It's a knowing they're going to, because the AFC, there's a lot of games where these AFC teams pit each other this week or over the next few weeks. For example, this weekend, I believe it's oh shoot, it's Pittsburgh and somebody Colts. Pittsburgh and Colts. Two teams are ahead of us. Whichever one of those two teams loses is going to fall out of contention. And then with Cincinnati, they've still got the Steelers, the Chiefs, and the Browns. They still have three pretty difficult games coming up. So that's my point. Is as long as Buffalo wins, they're going to those tiebreakers are going to improve, because we have 4 conference wins. All of the teams from Pittsburgh down have 5 or less. So we're right there with them.
But you just like made my point for me, like that we still need to win, because if we lose and this Colts Steelers game, the winner gains an extra game on us, and we don't gain anything even on the loser. So that's what makes every game like a win-win, and the tiebreakers, like no matter what, if we don't win, we're screwed. You know, a loss, no matter where helps us.
Yeah, if we could just get through this game with a dub, the next few games should be very winnable for us.
I'm just saying, obviously I want them to win. Obviously a win improves their odds. And I'm not going to go into the odds and percentages and everything, because I already wrote about this yesterday that just got published today, so I don't want to ruin all of it. I'd like for people to go check that out. But the key is the 3 final games, because they're all conference opponents. Those 3 games are the key. Now, beating Dallas, yeah, it's huge for confidence reasons. It's huge because it does make it a little easier if we happen to slip up in one of these other 3. But it keeps us on pace with the Dolphins. And we just need Miami to lose one more game. As long as we can keep winning. Miami loses one more game, then we go into that last week with a shot at the division title by beating them. So it's kind of crazy when you think about the fact that where we were at 6-6, the number 1 seed is still on the table, albeit it's a long shot. But it's all there still.
How mad would Finn fans be if they choked this away? Can you imagine? I mean, we all saw how happy they were to beat us in week 3 last year, by 3 points down. We were playing our practice squad, basically. Josh Allen's the only starter left. Like, how much are they going to implode about that? I mean, I mean, in my fantasy football chat, there's two Dolphins fans, and after this last game, like they have said it themselves. Oh, we're gonna choke. Like I have no confidence in this team. We're gonna choke this away. Like they're like, there's no doubt in my mind. I could pull up the text still. Like it's insane. Yeah. They're preparing for it, but they're also used to the doom and gloom that we've been through all our entire lives. Like that's. I mean, it's just one of those things. So it's which one of us is going to implode. It's a matter. It's going to happen. But the good thing for us is I think we already did the imploding that we were going to.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Yeah,
100% agree on that. I'm going to go back to Roy's comment here. To get to 10-7, we would be relying on others to slip up. Again, it depends on which game we lose. If it was this weekend, because it's not a conference game, the percentage of chances if we lose this weekend drops only. I say only, but it drops like 10%. It's not that huge. But if we lose one of these conference games, one of those final 3, that's when it starts to plummet. Like really, like if we lose one of those conference games, because then the tiebreakers really become an issue. But if we can win those 3, and we're sitting at 7-5 in conference, and the rest of the AFC teams are beating up on each other, because there are some AFC versus AFC matchups coming up over the next few weeks that are huge. There's definitely, even at 10-7, a very good chance that we could still get in. It has to be those 3 conference opponents, though, that we win. We cannot lose those. If we lose those, then I do think it's all out the window. But point being, this weekend is not a must-win. It'd be huge, though.
And I can officially put to bed my hashtag tank for Marvin. I think that's dead for the year.
There's people out there still hopeful. They're like, let's still play our asses off, and we could do whatever we got to do to move up and get them. But
hey, man, for Marvin Harrison Jr., I'd be more than willing to give up this year's first, next year's first, and move up and get him 100%.
What would that do for the team?
It would give us like 3 absolutely phenomenal weapons for Josh Allen, and then a great weapon in James Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, we still have Khalil Shakir and Dawson Knox. You know, like that's an amazing offense. You know, give Josh Allen those weapons. I mean, and also, that just Marvin Harrison just molds into the number 1. When Diggs' contract is up, it's a seamless transition.
That's assuming Harrison even comes out.
See, that's another thing. I mean, we talked about NIL last week, but this story hadn't hit, and here we are in the exact situation that we were talking about. I mean, what would you do? I mean, it truly shows how much is he tied. How much is a player tied to their team? How much does the actual team and what that team accomplishes mean to them? Or is this just, or was, going to Ohio State just a step to get to the ultimate goal? Is he striving for just getting to the NFL, or is he really that pissed off that he didn't beat Michigan, didn't win the Big Ten, didn't make it into the Final Four? It's good. This is going to be very interesting to see what this high profile of a player does with the options he's given. And it could, if he stays, it could change the landscape of the NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I always say stay.
Because players can make a ton of money now in college, especially people like Marvin Harrison Jr. And it's almost guaranteed money. Like you can go into the NFL draft, and even if you're a top 10 draft pick, you have to sign that contract for, I don't know what the cap is for rookies, but it's a 4 to 5 year deal. I think it's a 5 year it's 4 year with a 5th year option, right?
Yeah.
For a first rounder.
5th year fully guaranteed.
Yeah. Somebody like Marvin Harrison Jr., he could potentially make more money in that 1 year as a senior at Ohio State than he could over 5 years at wherever he gets drafted. That's the kind of money that the NIL is getting some of these kids.
Plus, if you go top 1, 2, or somewhere around there, the number is something like, after signing bonus, first year guarantees, all that kind of stuff. They usually get about $25 million. If you're one of those top 2 picks, that's what he's being offered to stay at Ohio State and further his education. That's one less year he'll have to worry about trying to finish his diploma after he's already in the NFL. He can accomplish those goals that he's set out to do, beating Michigan, like I said, getting to the Final Four. But it's but now is your chance. Will his stock ever be higher? What if he gets hurt? What if he tears his ACL next year? If he stays, tears his ACL next year, and he's not the same. That's the risk he's going to run if he stays.
Yeah. Let's move on. We haven't even talked about this game really, other than if it's a must win or not. What do you guys think about this game? Do we match up well with them? Is there anybody that you're? Let me say, I think we can all agree that Micah Parsons could likely be the difference maker on the defensive side for the Cowboys. Are you worried about it? Do you really think that, okay, I'm hoping the Bills have a plan for him, and if they are able to stop him, does that kind of negate the Cowboys pass rush as a whole?
Go ahead, Mike.
We got to have a plan of some sort. I mean, sure, Dion could hold his own against him, but he's not going to win every time. We know that. Hopefully, we could scheme something up to maybe use his momentum against him or something like that. But yeah, other than that, I think it is a pretty decent. This is a really good matchup. Two teams that are playing really well right now, even though our record doesn't show it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's misdirections or play action. I mean, I could see him just not falling for it and just going right for the sack though too. So
yeah. Well, that's the one thing that I keep hearing about this Cowboys defense is they are extremely aggressive. Like the secondary.
stay away, run the other way.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But that's the thing. The Cowboys move him around a lot, so it's not going to be
Yeah.
just Deion Dawkins. He's going to get lined
True.
up in the middle. He's going to get lined up on Spencer Brown's side.
Yeah.
Maybe
Quick passes.
maybe this is the game where Murray stays in and helps out almost
Yeah.
exclusively.
Right. Maybe.
Casey, what do you got?
How did we do against the number 2 sack leader in the NFL this year in Max Crosby?
Shut him out.
Yeah. I mean, how did we do? I mean, I can't say Matthew Judon. How do we do against, like the Jets defensive line? I know they're young, but they've got a good rotation of young players. First game, not amazing, but not ungodly terrible. Second game, crushed it. Our offense, they might have got Josh 1-2 times, crushed it. But I mean, just look through what we've given up this year. Josh has been sacked the least amount of times in his career this year, and he's still up there, and like he might break his drop back record again this year. He seems to do that just about every year. So like those numbers like correlating like that, that's awesome. That makes the sack number even better. So I think that, of course, they're going to come in with a plan for Micah Parsons. I mean, you're an idiot of a coach if you don't. He's too good not to. What worries me, is Deron Bland. I know, they're missing Trayvon Diggs, but they have Deron Bland who has stepped in, and I mean, it's like they never even lost him. Trayvon Diggs was right there picking off everything and returning it to the house the last few years. Bland's doing the same thing, but they get beat the same way by being so aggressive. We've seen what DK Metcalf did to Deron Bland. I mean, he absolutely torched him. Yeah, he still got an interception that game. Good for you. What happened? Like, you still got absolutely torched. The only reason why the Cowboys won that game was because CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. Deron Bland
Gabe Davis
worries me. No, because I'm not. I mean, Stephon Gilmore's on the other side, and I don't trust Gabe Davis anymore. I don't. I've been a Gabe Davis stan since he came into the league, and he's lost all my faith. I think this is a Khalil Shakir game.
Those are always fun.
I do. I genuinely think that this is a Khalil Shakir game. The weakest part of the Cowboys is the middle of their defense at linebacker. And I think that's where he and Dalton Kincaid are going to find open spots and be able to move the chains and suck the safeties down, which is going to give Diggs the opportunity to fight Bland one-on-one down the field.
Yeah. I saw a stat. I think in the last 4 weeks, Khalil Shakir leads the team in receiving, but he's 5th in the team in targets. I'm at the point. I'm with you, Casey. I'm at the point now where I kind of want any targets that have gone to Diggs. I cut that in half, or not to Diggs. Sorry, to Davis. Cut that in half, and split that between Shakir and Kincaid. It sucks because I like Gabe Davis, and to your point, we've defended him throughout his career. Last year, people were on. I was like, yeah, he had the ankle injury, this and that. I can't do that this year. He just disappears. And I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but his mom tweeted a couple of days ago.
Elena? No.
Yeah, something about that. There was a video of the play where Davis was wide open, and then Allen threw it over here to the side, I think to Kincaid. And she said something to the effect, it must be nice or would be nice if he would get the looks or something to that effect. And unfortunately, everybody let her have it.
Oh,
At the same time, she probably shouldn't be going on Twitter and making comments about, defending her son. But I get it. She wants to defend her son. But he's not been trustworthy at all. Yeah, he was wide open, but
He's
you
going
don't
to
know
catch
if he's going to catch it or not.
and what happened last time Josh threw that ball, threw him the ball on that route? It was like we could have won the game in Philly. Gabe went right, Josh went left. Maybe Josh saw that and didn't trust that they were going to make the same read. Not even the fact that he wasn't going to catch it, just that it was the same. He instantly saw Philly all over again and didn't want that result, and he took the safer pass in Kincaid. Or maybe he just missed them all together. Which quarterbacks? I mean, how many times are we like, look, they had him wide open? It happens all the time. They can't. They can't see everything in the field.
Too,
yeah.
Is this Davis's last season with the Bills?
I believe so, unless he signs for about $6 million a year.
It's more and more looking that way. I've fallen in love more with the blocking impact he has.
But look at Khalil Shakir. I will gladly give Khalil Shakir those snaps. He's been just as good, if not an even better blocker. But Gabe's just a little bigger.
Right.
Yeah. We've talked a little bit about this in the past, and we don't have a whole heck of a lot of time, but I do want to throw it out there really quick. The NFL draft coming up. You guys let Davis walk, and you draft wide receiver in the first round?
Or safety.
Let me see where we're drafting first, because that really depends.
Yeah.
It does. It would be, defensive line. I know we all hate that we keep taking defensive line, but now it's starting to become necessary with age and people who are not under contract after this
specifically
season.
Defensive tackle.
Yeah. The interior of our defensive line is going to be revamped soon, and I think they're going to try and do it younger. So I won't be surprised if we end up taking, the best first, second, third best D tackle, depending on where we're drafting. If we're 18, 19, we saw a wide receiver not go until pick number 20 or pick 19 last year, and 4 went directly in a row. It's one of those things. All right, the landslide starts. If we can get to the front of that landslide or be number 2, go get Keon Coleman, go get Ibuka out of Ohio State. Go get one of those guys that you think can make a difference. If not, fall back, take a defensive tackle, take a safety, because it's looking more and more likely that Hyde might not just be here next year. I think the injuries might be piling on him, or it's going to be one of those he wants to come back for one more year and not go out on an injury year. Either way, I think we can all agree we could use some quality depth at safety. Rapp's been good, but not as great as we wanted him to be. So I think and to me, it all depends on where we land in the draft.
Right.
Yeah. To answer Roy's question, as far as would be nice, but who would be available when they pick, this is a really, really deep draft for wide receivers. So even if we're in the late 20s, there's going to be some good ones, I think. Keon Coleman that you mentioned is probably, I would say, high teens, probably. No. But we'll start. Obviously, we're going to dive more and more into the draft as we get, closer to all of that stuff. But yeah, it's one of the topics that's been coming up more and more as of late because Davis just disappears. I don't think he had a single catch last week. Did he? Had 2 targets, I believe.
So real quick, I'll let you know real quick. Hold on. Let me go to fantasy football and show you how bad he screwed me.
Big fat 0.
Let's see. So wrong league. So he has gone 0 catches last game. The 6 for 105-1 against Philly. 0 catches against the Jets. 2 catches for 56 yards against against Denver. 0 catches on 2 targets against Cincinnati. 9 catches, 12 targets, 87 yards, and a touchdown against Tampa. 1 catch on 5 targets and 6 yards against New England. So that's his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. 8 games, and 4 of them he's had a combined 1 catch.
Yeah, it's time to move on. I hate to say it, but it's
Yeah.
time. I don't know if Khalil Shakir would be that guy to take over the number 2 role outside, and then maybe Hardy or somebody can take over in the slot full time. But
Save us some bucks.
for me, yeah, personally, I do want a wide receiver in round 1 this year. I want that this season. But and yes, Carl, we're all hoping it's pick 32. I'm with you. We're just
At that point, trade
see
it.
what happens.
One game at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, one game at a time. And I've been the most probably optimistic person you'll ever meet, and I've been calling for this run from the Bills for weeks now because we're overtime, but I don't care. 2020 we closed out with 6 straight wins. 2021 we closed out with 4 straight. Last year we closed out with 7 straight. The only number that's missing is 5, which is where we would be if we went out the rest of the season. So there it is, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a sign. And then we get in play. We just got to get in. Mike, I think you said earlier, just get in.
Yeah.
It's a whole new season once that happens.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. Let's get into our score predictions.
Let's do it.
Casey, I don't think you've gone first in a while.
You say that every week. I swear you say that every week.
Well, go
That's
first
fun.
sometimes.
30-27 Dallas.
That's quick.
I've been thinking about it all freaking day.
Commenters.
Go ahead,
just-
Mike.
I don't know. I was going to say, the commenters rolling in. We got to get their bits in here, too.
I don't see
yeah.
any on the scores yet, but
I'm ready. I took the over. The line is 50.5 points. So 23-28 Bills.
there you go.
We got to play a clean
like
game,
that.
man. The penalties.
Good,
The Dallas.
good job, Mike, for supporting your team.
Yeah.
Casey, take some notes.
I believe if we kept track, I would probably have the most accurate record of the year.
Maybe.
But we'll move on. Actually, we
No.
can.
As you picked Kansas City last week.
Speaking of which, we all need to do tally site. Okay, Pop Ron, do your thing.
I already did mine.
All right. Yeah. Here's the score. Oh, come on, guys. 27-24 Dallas, says
Man,
Roy.
Roy.
Okay, I'm going to go. This is going to be a shootout. So I'm going to say Bills 40, Dallas 37.
Wow.
Damn.
That's going to be
gonna
one
be-
hell of a game.
Yeah, it's going to be one hell of a game. We're all going to be on the edge of our seats once again. I'm probably going to have to call 911 because my heart just can't take this every single week. But there's our score predictions. Everybody in the comments, if you're listening and you're not commenting, we appreciate you guys being here. Here's another score prediction. 38-21 Bills, says RC3. Again, hit the likes, hit the subscribes, give us a follow, hit us up on the Facebook, the Mafia Cast, and we'll see you all next week, hopefully on a Victory Thursday. Go
Mason, I
Bills.
might see you at the tailgate.
See you at the game. Go Bills. Tell your friends.
Run TMC.